Well, good morning, everybody. I love this topic. I love this group because I speak to a lot of people throughout this country, many of them CEOs, but I love this because we're in the trenches with people that are really making a difference. Now, my topic is about sitting is the new smoking. It's really what I'm going to be talking about to me is the most important topic, not just for this group, but for America overall, because you may know that more people are dying of physical inactivity than smoking. And the World Health Organization has come out and said that more people are dying of physical inactivity than both overweight and obese people combined. So we don't get the respect of some of these other issues that are out there, but it's up to this group to be talking about it. In fact, this next slide here, I want to talk about all the great things in summary, because you heard about a lot of them about these great qualities, the last group, about what sport does. But I talk in generalities about physical activity and sport and what it does. And if you look at these benefits, they're unequaled. You name me one other thing that we can have our kids do or Americans can do that will give these benefits. Name me one. It's not even close. Nothing is doing more than this. And it's so important for this group to carry that message out to America. And you say, why, Jim? Well, I spent many years, 45 years in the sports industry. Worked at Wilson, I worked at Prince, I did consulting work, still do work, and helped many companies. But many of these big companies, you know what they're promoting? The celebrities, the top professional athletes, the major league sports. But when it comes down to the benefits of physical activity and sport for the average person, you don't hear that as much as you should. So we have to carry that message. Our message, there's nothing that comes close to it. We have to know it. You should have it in your pocket, in your head, and use it continuously. Why? This inactivity pandemic is getting worse. And you may not like to hear that, but our children are in trouble. They're in big trouble overall. Let's look at some of the numbers. Here's kids that are active 3 times a week or more in fitness activities. Look at the trend line there. It's less than a quarter of kids active 3 times a week or more. And that's actually not CDC health standards overall. Now, if you don't believe that, there's a study done by the British Journal of Sports Medicine. They looked at kids all over the world and looked at 50 countries. And guess what? Our country was ranked 47th out of 50th in the country, in the world, in fitness. Our kids are in trouble. Now, that's another conflict because last night, watching Monday Night Football, you turn on all sports all over the place. It's entertainment now. It's not what people are doing, especially our kids. So again, that goes back to the importance of this group. We got to be positive. We got to be great. We got to have great programs, and we got to take it down in the trenches because don't rely on those big sports brands to do it because they're going to promote their stars. We need to promote what's going on at the trenches. So some other numbers, there's 50 million children that are active, are not active to healthy standards by the CDC. 50 million children overall. We'll come back to that in a second. The only thing, and I bring this up here for a purpose, the only thing the kids are moving nowadays is this right here. It's sad but true, and parents look at that almost as a pacifier. So let's go on to some of the information here. This shows you the evidence. This is all about equality. It's not fair and it's not equal what's going on. Look at these charts. There's a lot of numbers there, but I'll break it up for you. You look at the far left-hand side here, you can see this is inactivity for children with low income. You can see the growth of inactivity. If you don't have money, they're not being active. More importantly, if you have money, look at the far right side here. These kids are actually increasing their activity levels or less sedentary overall. We just had this session about sports. If you got money, you can play on these traveling teams, etc. They're doing it. But if there's no money there in the families, they can't afford to play sports overall. Here's the raw numbers. Teens that are playing sports. Low-income families, 27%. Higher-income families is up to 46%. So black and white. So anybody who wants to say, hey, we got to get more sports programs for the elite or the money parts of this country, the people that have a lot of money, that's okay. We got to go where there's a real issue, which is low income. There's also an inequality that's going on with women. Women haven't had access to sports the way they should, and it's been a handicap. Here's some real numbers there. C-level position women, 96% say they played sports growing up, and many of them said it had a high influence on their life overall. But today, only 52% of all girls are playing sports. That's one time a year, by the way. Now, you take a girl or anybody, say you play once a year, they're not playing. So when you look at multiple times per year, it's far less. So we got to get women and girls more active early on in playing sports, and we got to have low-income families being more active overall. So I want to shift here, because we just had the session about sports. It was a great session. I agree with most everything was said out there. But I want us to really think about, where do kids learn the skills to throw, catch, run, jump? Where do they learn those things? Where are the roots of physical activity in America? Because a lot of people say, I want to create, in fact, my old companies would say, I want to create tennis players or golfers. But do they have the skills to do them? And where do they learn them? There's two places that kids learn these skills generally. One is family members, mom and dads, uncles, whatever, saying, come out, let me teach you how to play, throw, catch, and they join programs. And the second place is in the schools. Now, we all know what's going on in schools. And by the way, you'll know that I am the biggest advocate for schools, and you'll see that in a second. Because that's where all the kids are. That's where the economics are. But unfortunately, schools have cut back dramatically. So what's going on in the home? And it's a little cartoon I picked up a couple years ago. I've updated it. It's really good. This is what it was in the 70s. I'm growing up, and anybody my age, Mom used to say, come on, you gotta come in. You gotta study. You gotta have dinner. That's what it was. But do you think this is ever going to happen? No way, and whatever you want to say here. Because you know why? Those pacifiers, those electronic devices are basically pacifiers for the parents. The kids are safe, but they're also sedentary and unhealthy. So the family's not going to change that much. We can't rely on it. So that gets back to the schools. And to me, if we overlook the importance of schools where kids learn these skills early at age, we're making a big mistake. This is research we've had for 7, 8 years now of what kids do outside of school. And this chart right here is no physical education. So you can see the percentages. Look what happens when you get them active in any kind of physical education program. It could be 1 day a week or 5 days a week. Look at these numbers. Physical education in schools are the grassroots program for all activity in America. It takes care of every kid. I don't care if you liked it or not, you still learn the skills, and then guess what? You can do it outside of school because you have the confidence, or you can do it later on in life. So this is why you're going to learn a little bit about PHIT America and what we're doing. So Jim's up here talking, walking around. What are we doing? What is our organization doing? We've been in the business for 7 years now. We've been out there pioneering programs in schools, and we're making great progress. We've already helped 400,000 kids in 730 schools and making a dramatic difference in those kids' lives overall. Now, here's the good news. We just got a major grant, multi-million-dollar support from a charity, a foundation in the Northwest. We're going to take this to millions of kids now. By the way, anybody in this room wants to jump on our programs together, we can do it because we have the great formula. Let's look at this formula. We have the ultimate, and I say this, the ultimate 1-2 punch to help every kid get moving and healthy and also to play sports. And you're going to say what it is. First of all, you see there's another brand here, Kids in the Game. We have a couple of associates here that are sitting in the audience. We're going to be around. You want to talk to us? We'd love to have you. So we're a great partner company we work with 2 programs. One is called AMPed, and the other is called the PASS. So what are these 2 doing? And it goes to the roots again. AMPed is an early morning running and walking program that gets all the kids moving. We get a whole school moving for $3,500 over 3 years. The cost is minimal. But look at that top line up there. Amplify education. Charles Hillman is going to be talking in the next panel. He is dynamite. He's an expert in education. We are getting kids active, but we're lighting up their brains too, so they can learn better. This program is dynamite, very efficient. Second program is the PASS. Now, what's the second big problem with kids playing sports? The cost, especially in low-income areas. We're going right into low-income areas, and we are supporting individuals that apply, and we give money directly to the program in the name of that kid so they can play sports. So it's a PASS for a kid to learn or stay in sports overall. Dynamite program overall. So overall, PHIT America, we have big goals. Our goal is to get 10 million kids active and fit And you say, why 10 million? There's two numbers. That's 20% of the problem, 50 million kids. And the second thing is, there's 10 million kids in America today of the research that are total couch potatoes. They're not moving one day in one activity over 105 different activities once in a year. So that's our goal. I thank you. I think I'm right now on my time, and I appreciate your help, and thank you very much.